Welcome back, traders and investors. Our third guest today is Paul Scolardi, CEO of Super Trades LLC. He spent 16 years in corporate finance and is a CPA. He's been investing and trading in stocks for over 17 years and has made some nice coin from it. His Twitter handle is at SuperTrades, was named one of the top 10 traders to follow on Twitter, been featured on The Street, Bloomberg, Business Week, and Seeking Alpha. He verifies his gains, and he also works as a financial educator with 1,400 students in 50 countries. Pretty impressive there, Paul. How you doing this morning?
Excellent. And if I may clarify, it's at super_trade.
I missed
And
that. Yep.
most people that follow me know me as Superman.
Superman. Okay. All right. We got Superman on the. So is it okay if I call you Superman?
That's fine.
Okay. So what did you learn in corporate finance and being a CPA? What did you learn about that has enabled you to be a successful trader?
Well, no, that's a great question. My background as a CPA and then in corporate finance as CFO, it's enabled me to rapidly analyze stocks and particularly their financial statements and SEC filings because that's what I did in helping companies go public and helping companies improve their profitability. I was ingrained in that culture for a long time, so now I've converted that to using that for research in the stocks.
And what do you look for? What is do you wait like earnings to come out? You quickly analyze the earnings, or are you constantly analyzing the fundamentals of stocks as the information becomes available?
I am constantly researching and constantly looking for stocks. What I'm known for, and it's kind of my coin phrase, is I find momentum before it happens. And that momentum is usually undervalued companies or companies that are about to enter a growth phase, whether it be the industry is growing or they have a new product or a new division or just general sector strength due to something that's changed in the macro economy.
And then how do you position yourself? Do you go ahead, and purchase the actual equity? Do you like to utilize the options markets? How do you get into your positions?
I'm mainly equities, but I will use options at times. And when I do, it's just simple, calls and puts. But mainly, like the majority of my trades are stocks or equities, and mainly I focus on listed stocks, Nasdaq, New York Stock Exchange, and Amex. Those are the stocks that I focus on.
And your time frames for you are like a Tim Melvin value guy, buy and hold, and you just hold it till it works, or you're a little bit more of a swing trader.
No, it's funny. Yeah, I've developed. I've been trading stocks 17 years, and I have developed a comprehensive strategy based on not only my many successes but my failures as well as I was learning the trade. And I do teach. I have a subscription service at www.super-trades.com, and I have three types of trades. I have chart trades, which are based on strict chart parameters that I teach. I have swing trades. I like to call myself the king of swing. And I also have parameters on the swing trades. And then one of the trades I use, probably the least, but I still do, is just a simple, a day trade based on news or current events. But I'm predominantly a swing trader and a chart trader, but I won't hesitate to do a day trade if it's out there.
And so, what kind of charts do you like to use? Are you a candlestick guy, or what time frames do you use? And what charts are your favorite? What do you rely on the most?
Yeah, I mean, mainly the main chart I use is 12-month daily chart, and it's pretty much simple. I look at certain parameters on that, but it's pretty much the 12-month daily.
And if you're analyzing the financials of a company and the information that's available, and you don't like what you see, do you short the stock?
Yes, I do. I will short stocks. Absolutely. It's also market driven, but I do short stocks as well. That's a common misconception that I'm only a bull market trader. I only go long. No, I do short stocks. But as Warren Buffett said, when it's raining gold, bring a bucket, not a thimble. And in 2013 and for a good part of 2014, it has been a bull market, and there's been so many long opportunities. I have trouble keeping up with all of those. However, when shorts do present themselves, I won't hesitate to short stock or buy puts in the company.
And typically how many positions do you keep on at one time?
I keep anywhere from, I'd say, 3 to 10 positions, depending on what's out there.
Okay. So I mean, the market's had just a tremendous rally, and it's kind of hard to find value here in the market. Are you still finding any value?
I am. I mean, even in the last week, a company, Herco, HURC, which they were a 46-year-old company, very profitable, kind of undervalued for their legacy business, and they make CNC manufacturing machines. Announced that they created an adapter for CNC machines to convert them to 3D printers, and that was a stock that I called and I wrote about on thestreet.com at 28, and it actually hit just shy of 38 within a few days. So I think, it's earnings seasons. You're still looking for companies. And another thing I teach at my subscription service at super-trades.com is how to prepare for earnings seasons and exactly what to look for in an earnings release to know if the company has, positioned itself to appreciate their stock based on their results.
So did you ring the cash register on HURC, or are you still holding in there?
I took, again, part of my strategy is when you're up there, take partial profit. I've taken partial profit as it did have like a 9 to 10 point run, and I have held some, but my strategy teaches you to protect yourself. I think the stock could have, I'm not recommending anyone buy it because I don't, but I think the stock could have upside as this product rolls out. But when you're up 9 or 10 points, you have to take partial profit, and I've taken some off the table. I do hold some small amount of shares, and I'll evaluate the stock price action from here on in.
Would you use a trailing stop in something like this, because you had one big up day and then two small up days, another big up day, another big up day, and now it seems to be coming in a little bit, instead of evaluating the stock on a daily basis where you say, okay, if this thing comes back down under 32, or do you don't use stops, you just evaluate situations as they come about?
Well, fortunately for me, I'm an I have a bit. I manage my own money. I manage my own fund, and I also educate and teach others. So I'm able to be at the computer 24 hours a day. So I use what I call a mental stop loss, where I have, I can watch the stock. If I wasn't going to be by a computer, I teach people how to use stop losses and to protect themselves. But I have, levels in my mind where I will either add to the position or just sell the remaining shares, depending on the action of the stock.
Now, in something like this, I mean, this is a thin one. I mean, was it hard for you to build a position in this thing? I mean, the average daily volume. I mean, think about something like this is, I mean, you could almost influence the stock if you convince people enough. I mean, obviously it held out around 28 and then delivered the good news. Do you find yourself having problems, taking a position in a stock like this? And do you usually focus on companies that trade less volume?
Yeah. So first of all, I recommended the stock, or I purchased stock and sent out an educational buy alert to my subscribers before that news even came out.
Correct.
Because if you read the earnings release prior to that, the company said, they were going to reveal their 3D printing products. So no, and in this case, this was a $28 stock. If this was like a $2 stock that was, that thinly traded in low float, you have a problem. But no, I don't. I didn't have a problem getting a position in the stock. I won't, chase it. It was available at the levels I wanted to. I also teach how to, buy and sell stocks that are, heavily traded as well as thinly traded. And no, I don't. I don't focus on. That's another misconception that I just focus on low float or thinly volume stocks. I focus on the situation. If there's a value situation in a stock that has 1 billion shares outstanding, and I think there's a case for it, I will trade that. If there's a value case in a stock that has 3 million shares outstanding, I won't chase it, but if the trade is available, I'll trade that. So I look for criteria, again, that I teach in my strategy at super-trades.com, that just meet my criteria.
Okay, and so just talking about market, dynamics here, and I'm just giving a theoretical here. Let's say you want a 5,000 share position in a stock like HURC. I mean, you're not going to show a 27.95 bid for 5,000, are you? Are you going to wait? Hopefully, I mean, this thing hung out around 28, had a lot of trades there. Do you wait for someone to offer 5,000 at your price and then you lift them, or you just say, "Hey, here's my bid, come and get me"?
Yeah, no, you can see the psychology of the stock by watching it and watching it on level 2 and time and sales. And even though a stock may be thin, you can see by the time and sales what's available. I also will not hesitate to. I'm not one of those people that I'm going to try and save. What is the phrase? Save a nickel
Yeah.
and lose dollars. I don't care about paying 10, 20, 50 cents higher if the trade thesis supports the price going higher in my mind. But in the case of HURC, you could easily, if I wanted 5,000 shares, I could have easily bought 1,000 at a time at a reasonable price by going on the ask. It wasn't, once I learned the psychology of the stock, if you put in a 10,000 market order, the stock would have went crazy, but you were easily able to buy 1,000 to 2,000 shares at a time without seeing a huge fluctuation.
Okay. And is there anything that do you have any shorts on right now? I know you're going with the trend, and the market's been up, it's been rallying. Do you have any juicy shorts in your portfolio right now?
Well, no, I mean I did a quick. It's funny, but I did a quick short of Facebook this morning at 78.10, and I
Ooh.
covered 288 like 77.50, only because it was up $8 and it may still go higher, but I thought after $8 it was going to pull back some.
And
But
what
I'll
did you
tell you what
base
I
that
have
trade
done.
on? What did
Typically,
wait, Paul,
what's that?
Superman, before you go
Yep.
on, what did you base that trade on? I mean, did you do it as it was going up through 78.10 up to 78.44, or did you hit it on the downside?
No, it was having trouble in the 78, and it was up 7 or 8 points. And so I did, for me, which was a small position, about 5,000 shares or so, and it was having trouble, showing strength in the 78s, and it was up 7 or 8 points, and I just thought it needed a breather, a pullback, and it's just because the stock was up so much. It wasn't a typical trade for me, but I just thought it was a little overextended and needed to pull back.
And where was your mental stop? I mean, obviously the market
Yeah, I
trading.
was. Yeah, no, that's a good question. I was in it. My short was at 78.10. My mental stop loss was 78.50.
Ooh, okay.
It started showing trouble in 78.30s, and so I risked about $2,000, and I ended up making about $2,000 or $3,000 on the trade.
And did you just, I mean, I know it's just kind of hard when you're shorting stocks like this. Did you just put your whole lot out there at 77.50, or did you try and just nibble out, and scale out of it?
To close out the trade in a stock like Facebook with that volume, I just covered the whole 5,000. Really, whatever was close to the ask. I mean, in the 77.50 area, it's just
It's a,
I think it was the bid was 77.50, and I did like 77.53 for the whole thing. When you have a stock with that kind of volume, and it's easy to just cover that kind of position.
Yeah, it's a good feeling too. I mean, if you put on 5K in that thing, I mean, you're taking on a lot of risk, especially in the pre-market trading. It's a good feeling when you put on something like that and you get your fill. You're not I mean, hey, you took the risk, you did the trade. 76.15. Who cares? It's a good feeling when you do those kind of trades because there's a lot
Yeah,
of
and
risk.
I wasn't looking to make a chunk. I just thought it was gonna. I just thought it was kind of like pizza money. It was gonna pull back a little, and why I'm sitting here, why not make a few $1,000s?
Yeah, why not? Okay, just to wrap things up here, and I think you're probably going to say, but this is based on the size of your account. But do you have any recommendations on position sizing?
Yeah, no, I do. And I again, and I teach this in part of my strategy, which people can go to my website, www.super-trades.com. I do teach about position sizes, and I have a position calculator. But I also simply say, if you understand my strategy and you have a trade thesis, for every trade you have a trade plan, and that has a downside or a personal stop loss, a mental stop loss, and you have to trade based on the worst case scenario. If your downside, if your personal stop loss is going to be hit, and say it's 50 cents, what is your max exposure that you're comfortable with? If I don't want to lose more than $5,000, and I have a 50-cent stop loss, well, then I'm not going to take a position size greater than 10,000 because I'm only comfortable losing $5,000 in the trade. And that sounds, a lot or extreme, but I'm just using numbers as an example.
All right, we've had Paul Scolardi on the line, CEO of Super Trades LLC, better known as Superman by his followers, talking about his trading strategies. And folks, just keep in mind, Paul worked as a CPA and he looks at the technical analysis, but he follows the fundamentals. That's what he bases most of his positions on, except for that crazy Facebook trade he did today. So check out his site and his trading strategies. And Paul, great look at the market for today. Thanks for sharing your information with us, and have you on again for sure.
Okay, thank you. Have a great day.
Okay.